I'm Stacy Sherman with Matt Immersion. Did I get that right?
Yeah, nailed it.
Awesome.
Nailed it.
Because you know what?
Huh.
You matter.
Thank you. So do you.
So we just got off the stage,
Yeah.
keynote, did an awesome job.
Thank you.
Talking about how people matter, I matter, we matter. Talk a little bit more about, for people who weren't in the room, what does that mean?
Oh, wow. So whoever's watching, I want you to understand how much you matter to yourself, to your relationships, whether professionally or personally, how much you matter to your company, your teams, your community, etc. I just feel there's a deep need for people to reconnect to their gifts and feeling valued and valuing each other. In some ways, I'm kind of an analog person where things have gotten so fast and there's so much uncertainty and confusion that we've kind of lost our humanness. And I just want us to reconnect to what it means to be good people who value each other, and because we're humans first.
So what do you say to those AI companies that are literally doing the opposite?
Well, I think right now there's like this race to the top with AI speeding up things quicker than ever. There's going to be some sorting out. I'm certainly not an AI expert, but the whole thing doesn't work without humans either. And in a perfect world, like maybe AI can take on the things that make sense for it to take on, that allow us to do the other parts that only we can do.
I love what you said, because it is about automate the mundane, boring tasks.
That's right.
But leave space for the managers and people to say, how is your day? What's happening today? To be in tuned.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
where AI can help.
And what we feed into it is also kind of what we get out of it. And so it's up to us also to kind of shape how this unfolds. I think AI and social media, for that matter, is a mirror of humanity. And if we're not liking what we see and what we're getting, then we have to go back in here and reconnect to our mattering and our purpose and our value in a new way.
What sparked this passion around You Matter?
Yeah, so I worked in the music industry for 10 years. I was very successful at that. And I woke up on a Monday morning and had a big emotional breakdown because I thought I was successful, but I felt empty inside. And I went through a lot of mental health struggles and had to relearn like why my life matters. And that process of healing led me to write a book in 2007 called Every Monday Matters, which then led to starting a nonprofit. And that brings me here almost 20 years later.
I love your topic about psychological safety in the workplace, especially contact centers.
Yes.
Share more. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, so psychological safety is the idea that I can bring up risks, bring up concerns, and I'm not going to have negative consequences for helping us move forward. And so for me, that is the necessary space for innovation. How can we possibly move forward? How can we possibly implement new technology if we're not willing to say, I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it, or maybe we can think about this differently? And I think those questions are dependent upon us having that psychological safety in the workplace.
So you're talking about a speak up culture?
I think that's fair to say it that way. Yeah, that we have a space to bring concerns and even maybe challenge leadership. So yeah, a speak up culture sounds great.
Challenge leadership. Now, a lot of people are afraid because they may lose their job,
Sure.
especially in an AI world. What do you say to those people?
It's not the right place for you?
You're in the wrong room.
Possibly.
I'm here with Leslie and Kate. Can you share, what have you learned? What has been a highlight so far?
Connecting with people and meeting people I know online, only meeting them in person.
That is true. Oh my gosh, I think that's the same. As far as content, what's top of mind?
Well, AI is always top of mind, but I loved what we heard yesterday from Jeremy and from Kara and from Amber, where they talked about AI, really what they've experienced and how it doesn't always go as planned, and that's still okay. It doesn't mean AI isn't the right thing. It just means it might take a little longer to find the right solutions. I'm looking to hear more.
So when it doesn't go as planned, what do you do? And it doesn't mean throw it away.
Right.
Love that.
I want to learn about all of the communication and customer experience practices that support even choosing the AI tool.
And empathy, how AI can increase human empathy.
Increase human empathy, not replace it. So everybody's talking about AI as a solution. What's the one thing that stands out to you that says, I need to use AI to enhance the human experience? What's the best use case you've heard so far?
You know, I like to keep things kind of simple with AI. And I think the things that take away that cognitive load on the human is where it's at. Because when people are stressed out, that cortisol's rolling through their veins, then you can't be empathetic. And so if the workload is too high, then that's a blocker to empathy. We need more of that to form connection. And so I think AI can be the perfect tool to help us get past that barrier, to offload some of that cognitive load and take that time, have that opportunity to connect with others.
So reducing burnout to allow the space and energy for that connection. What about you?
The analytical aspects of AI, I think, is really exciting. Right now, we can use AI to do QA across all sorts of different calls. People that are working across continents, we're finally able to connect dots and identify trends that may take us months if we ever even identify it, because it's too overwhelming to take a look at every single communication. So there's a lot of cool options out there. As long as the AI is not talking to a person, I'm in.
I'm getting my coffee here, and you, Lewis, said my name. Hi, Stacy. You took the moment to personalize my coffee experience. Always their name. That makes sense. And now you told me, Carlos, go talk to Jesse.
Exactly.
About what?
If you need anything.
If I need
At your
anything.
service, whatever you need.
At your service. So let me ask you, what does doing customer experience right mean to you?
Conditional, we never say no.
You never say no.
We try all the way 100% and more to come up for you.
To satisfy you.
To satisfy. Well, is satisfy enough?
No.
There you go. So what else would you do?
We can always go above and beyond.
Above and beyond. Well, thank you for doing so much right.
Stacey,
Appreciate
at your
you.
service.
The energy is wild, and I'm having a little bit of a fanboy moment because one of my favorite podcasters, long time listener, and still yet to be on the podcast, but that's happening.
We'll change that.
Do you think that contact centers are getting more or less complex with all of this new AI and the sophistication that we're bringing to contact centers?
It's funny you ask that, because there's a wall back there and you can put a sticky note, one word that describes the future of contact centers. And I wrote complicated.
Well, there you go.
Literally. So to dig further into that, it's getting more complicated because there's some companies that I talk to and they're just all about replacing the human. And then there's people, I just heard you talking, and it's about the human. Clearly there's the hybrid and the blend, but it's getting very, very complicated, and there's the right time. I think people have to journey map in the right way and figure out where's the human to create those emotional highs, those peak moments, and offset those emotional lows. And so where's the AI, where's the human, and do it very intentionally.
I think you're 1000% correct on that, and I really like that you mentioned journey maps there. I think that's a big area that our industry needs to evolve in. We've been doing journey maps for a while now, and more often than not, it's a lot of post-it notes. I think that it's about time we get away from that and start to see the whole customer journey in one place and be able to see that real time. What do you think?
Yes, we can't call this necessarily customer journey maps. We're in an age of experience management, and it's not just the customer, it's the ecosystem. And so Journey Map is a great tool for those that haven't done it, but we now need to take this to the bigger journey management, and I'm actually writing a book on it.
Oh, well, I can't wait to read that book.
We are learning so much already. What stands out to you so far?
Well, the keynote this morning was absolutely incredible, and I'm going to take the exercise that Matthew shared back to our team to build more purpose and belonging, because yes, you matter, I matter, we matter. So powerful. And yesterday's keynote with Brad, it was so refreshing to just listen to contact center leaders share their real and raw stories, and to know that everyone's not so far along with AI as we want to believe. There was some comfort in that, like some camaraderie there. So I loved that.
Not everybody is so far ahead. There's this perception that people are way advanced, and we're all learning at the same time.
Absolutely.
Really good point.
That's absolutely right. And the reality is, with AI, that just means you can fail faster. All automation requires really thoughtful development, because the technology should be serving the humans, not the other way around.
So what do you say to these companies and solution providers right now who are replacing the jobs and they're saying, don't agree with you? What's your view? How do you combat that?
Well, if they've designed it beautifully around the human experience, more power to them. But what we're finding in practice is that the integration efforts are so great that it's no better than when they're using DTMF or touchtone IVR. So AI is not the solution, that the panacea that many of the solution providers might have us believe. The real question is, where are the challenges that people are experiencing, and what is the best solution, the best tool set to solve those problems? So that might be AI, but more often than not, we're finding it's not AI as the best solution.
Well, the thing that keeps coming up is, one, AI, but not AI as in what is it, but it's like, how does it actually get applied and used? Like, how do you dumb it down for me to a spot where I can understand it, digest it, and then actually leverage it in the operations? I think they're a lot tired of hearing what AI is from tech people or executives. It's like, well, how does it actually mean something to me as a manager or a director, and how does it actually work? And the other thing, believe it or not, is going back to attrition. How do we maintain employees? How do we get employees to stay? How do we keep them engaged? A lot of unionized companies are here, non-unionized. The unionized, how do we get the hiring right? How do we get the training right? How do we keep them there? And the same type of thing in non-unionized shops too. So attrition's coming back hard too, which I think goes back to what you were saying about location, and making sure you get the right person up front.
A colleague of mine, they had a new product that hit the market, and they had taken recordings out of the contact center who were current customers who had tried this new product and hated it. Like, hated it. And so the guy from the contact center made a video about a 10-minute recording of agents hearing from customers about how bad the product was. And so at the next executive meeting that they had with the CEO, the CFO, all of the folks, I got something I want you to listen to, and sort of shut the doors kind of in the conference room, not literally, but shut the doors. And so he played the video, everybody sat and listened to it, and the CEO stood up and walked out of the room. And his boss's boss followed him to his office and said, "You've made the biggest mistake you've ever made in your career. I don't know who told you to do that, but that was dumb. You made everybody look bad." And so he's sitting there, and around comes the CEO, and the CEO walks in the room, and he says, "That was the best 10 minutes anybody's ever played in that meeting. You just changed the trajectory of this company. You are employee number one," because he had played this 10-minute video, because the CEO saw the value in, we suck. Right. We're horrible. Like, this is not what we expected. But it was the customer's voice, not the internal voice. Exactly. It made a difference. And that, to me, is what CX you mentioned.
About 3.5 years ago, I was in an airport in Phoenix, and we just got back from the Deaf Olympics. I was on the coaching staff, and we won a gold medal. So we're in the airport, and I saw all these hearing people running around on their cell phones, trying to change and modify their flights. And I was like, okay, so I was trying to figure out, maybe I probably should call the airline. And so I called through an interpreter. I was on hold trying to get an interpreter for 45 minutes. And then I had to wait another 45 minutes for the customer service rep. And that interpreter made a mistake and said the wrong information, and I was booked on the wrong flight. So there has to be a better way. How can hearing people call directly to people in their own native language, and deaf people have to rely on a third party? So I was like, I need to have a direct solution, fill it with staff, with ASL users, and provide that experience. I want to solve my own problem. So that's why I established 360 Direct Access. And in doing this, I've seen a lot of success. So I'm really excited that we're bringing this to show the world that this is the right way to do it.
How did that feel, being on the wrong plane? Like, I can't imagine.
Don't get me started there. Honestly, a crazy experience, because I ended up having to go to the front counter and I said, hey, this is not the right one. And the woman, of course, was like a deer in headlights, and she'd never communicated with a deaf person before. So I had to write back and forth and having them help me through a paper and pen process. That was a pain. And finally, I was able to modify that and get it on the right flight.
Yeah, finally. I mean, I think we're 2.5 hours into this story. And I'm frustrated when I'm told on the airline I have a 12-minute wait time. I'm like, call me back. Just, let me know when you can do it.
CX professionals like myself, we are out there journey mapping with clients. And so I think the opportunity is for us to, on purpose, when we design how a customer learns, buys, get, use, pay, and get help, and clearly get help is an area you're focused on, we need to overlay the experience for different personas and not leave out certain communities.
I totally agree. A lot of people underestimate the size of the deaf community. There are 240 different sign languages all over the world. 240. And there are 70 million deaf people worldwide. And there's already research that shows $30 trillion buying power within that community, plus friends and family. It's really important to be aware of the opportunity. It's there.
Yeah, especially when buyers have so much choice. We have a choice of who's our cell phone provider. We have a choice of what store we go to. We have a choice of where we're spending our money. I can guarantee you, companies that are taking care of, or just meeting the needs, the accessible, equitable needs of these underserved communities, are going to win back customers. They're going to win new customers. They're going to benefit. I pay attention to it. I'm very intentional with where I spend my money.
You talked about how you really have to get buy-in from all across the organization. Many companies struggle with that. So what are some of the reasons?
To be direct, customer service leaders spend most of their time identifying challenges, identifying the gaps, plugging those gaps, and they run to the next challenge. It's like we have a fire extinguisher on our back. We're constantly trying to fix things. And so we don't have time to sort of lift ourselves up and look strategically on how we can actually impact and expand our sphere of influence so that we have other department heads moving obstacles out of our way so that our ideas gain traction and we can get them across the finish line.
It sounds so intuitive and it sounds so smart and clear. So what's the struggle? Why is it that you had to push so hard to get adoption?
3 letters, ego. Right, everybody's on their own power base. Everyone's trying to drive their own initiatives. We're in the middle of flux inside the industry. And so people don't have time to help other people. And we're so siloed inside of companies in general that everybody just sees their own lane. And we really need to open that up because we cannot operate in silos. It just doesn't work. And we need the other departments around us because they support customer service, but also they may touch the customer journey.
So a lot of people are talking about journey mapping. And then they use it as wall art, as everybody's saying that phrase. I love it. Journey management, experience management. What's your view on where journey mapping is evolving to, and how does that interplay with what you're advocating for?
Well, I think that before anybody brings in any kind of technology, software enhancement, they need to understand what they're trying to accomplish. So mapping out that customer journey, how the customer is going to move through that ecosystem and the employee experience as well, they have to know where those gaps are. Just to run out and spend money on AI or some technology is not going to help them. They have to understand what they're trying to accomplish.
What does doing CX right mean to you?
It means a great job for us. To welcome you is not the first time. They've been keep coming back here, so we're grateful for that.
Keep coming back. Absolutely. What about you?
It means appreciation, and I hope you remember us forever.
Remember you forever.
It's
Well,
nice to see the same faces again.
yes, and the fact that you're greeting us as we walk into the event is very meaningful. Thank you. Here I am at ICMI. I'm about to speak, and Zach Holback is here, double checking that my experience is great, that I'm all set up and ready to go. And I believe that you are creating a great customer experience just by checking in. What does CX mean to you?
Customer experience to me really means making sure the person's being taken care of and feels understood and heard, and that they have the best experience possible from start to finish. So we worked a lot leading up to the show and making sure that you're all set and taken care of. And now I'm taking that all the way through the end of the show, making sure I'm here for you and that you know I'm ready to help whenever you need.
That is such an important point, because it's not just being in the room now. It's all the micro moments that happened before I got here and now in the room. And that's what I want people to understand, that it's designing those micro moments intentionally.
Yes. And being intentional is a huge part of customer service, is reaching out, being here on time, making sure that you're heard. Yes.
And it's also generous, right? The generosity, because you could have just come in, are you good, and leave. But instead, you're making sure that everything's in place for my speech to go really well and flawlessly. And so, thank you. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
What stood out to you today?
Oh my gosh, the energy here. The people are so hungry. Like, people are looking for clarity. They're looking for truth. They're looking for pathways to meaningful AI adoption, but not just that. How to engage my people, how to fix these problems that have been around for a long time, how to do change management. The curiosity is just so refreshing to me.
AI replacing jobs. I mean, what do we say to that? Because it's real.
Yeah, I like thinking about, let's make the quick parts quick and the slow parts meaningful. So we should automate all these things that need to be automated. Let's suck time out of the experience where it's friction, where it sucks. But then let's slow down and make those parts meaningful so that we can create real connection. We can create personalized experiences. And great brands are getting that. They're refocusing people towards elevated experiences. They're noticing what I like to call the great experience convergence, where the lines between sales and service are coming down, IT service management, and they're helping their contact center people to be able to do all these wonderful things to guide customers to success proactively. Are the contact center jobs of the past going away? Heck yeah. And thank goodness. Are they elevating to something exciting and new? Yes, they are.
I would also add that we have to address the fear. The managers have to actually acknowledge it, embrace it, and help their people instead of pretend that the fear is not there.
Yeah, that's just going to create more fear if you're not acknowledging it, if you're not growing them and helping them to understand, providing truth and clarity. That's what happens with great leaders right now. Thank you, everybody.